Raposo, and this is my AI-assisted Monte Carlo simulation. And this is what it all looks like. I chose to do an AI prompt that relates to my marketing major. And basically, I just asked for recommendations for a spreadsheet model relevant to a marketing major that can be used to create a Monte Carlo simulation. It must randomize at least two of the inputs of the model using two different distributions and give me the specific formulas to use for the calculations of the model's outputs. And so what it ended up giving me was to simulate a daily profit for a digital ad campaign. And we're going to be using cost per clicks, CPC, and conversion rates, CVRs, to figure that all out. And then I'm also going to be using these two different distributions. I'm going to be using uniform distribution for my CPC and normal distribution for my CVR. And I also found it interesting that it gave me reasons as to why. So like the CPC fluctuates within range, so it would work out really well for uniform distribution formula. And the same goes for CVR, which it will have like a mean. Basically, the number doesn't change too often. And then next, so yeah, here's my objective, which is to find the daily profit for a digital ad campaign. And then these are the inputs it gave me and the recommended numbers they gave me to use. So I have number of trials, impressions per days, click-through rate, average order value, and fixed daily cost. And then here I just put the formulas I'm going to be using for uniform distribution and normal distribution. And then finally, I have all my steps here. So my first step was to gather needed inputs to perform simulation. And so I just put all my inputs down here. Again, what I have right over here. And then step two was to use the formulas to find needed outputs. So that's right here where I highlighted these numbers. And as you can see, for cost per click, I use the uniform formula with 0.4 being A and 0.8 being my B. And I inputted all that in with the RAND. And then for my conversion rates, I did the same using the mean and standard deviation here. And yeah, use the norm inverse and input the rest. And then these were some other numbers that I had to find to get my total profit. So for clicks, I had to round right here my impressions per day and my CTR, which was my click-through rate. And same goes for orders and revenue, which we know revenue is our orders times our average order value. And then we also had the ad costs, and then I got my total profit. Profit is the important one. So we have, yeah, my revenue minus all my costs. So then I was using that number, I used it to reference to get my data table. And then since I had 200 trials, that's how many numbers I had to use. It goes all the way down here. And then, yeah, with that, you use data analysis and your data table, and it inputs all these numbers for you. And that's what I use to get my summary statistics, the ones that we had to do in the instructions. So I have my mean and my standard deviation, and then I used standard deviation sample too, which that's pretty important. And then I have, yeah, my max, my minimum, my median, quartile 1, quartile 2, just the whole 5-number summary, which is what I use here to get my box plot. And as you can see, yeah, the numbers would add up when you look through it. Like they match up to the numbers over here. And then I also used my whole data table to get a histogram for profit distribution. And that basically shows what my highest number ranges were, where most of my numbers fell. And as you can see here, it fell into this value mostly. And yes, that's about it. Thank you. Bye.